Okay guys, so salt. What is salt? So salt is known as sodium chloride. Okay, so without getting too much into the scientific breakdown, that's what that's the name of it. I think our internet might be a bit patchy here, guys, for some reason. Let me just check the Wi-Fi, guys. Just 1 second. So make sure I'm connected to the right one. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. It seems to be the internet is getting overloaded. So coming back to it, right? Salt is sodium chloride, and commonly found, you know, people who do a lot of baking in their what you call this thing, the bicarbonate of soda contains sodium bicarbonates. That's what it is, right? So a lot of people use that for baking, or you'd find it in curing of meats. So like these smoked pancetta things you might add into lunches and salads and things as well, or into stir fries, and that's for curing meats. So that's what you call sodium nitrate, is what you'd find in that. So there'd be common kind of household ways, or inside in ham and packeted ham and things that you get. Most of the salt we take in, 70% of it is in our processed foods. So it's either processed foods that we buy in packets, or it's through, you know, takeaways, all that kind of thing. You might, you know, in restaurants and stuff that add salt, obviously to flavour all these foods that add in extra salt and things. So 70% of the salt we take in comes from those sources. About 20% then comes in from stuff we add into it ourselves at home. So as we cook food, we're adding in salt, we're baking with it, those kind of things. And the last kind of 10-15% is naturally in foods then. Okay, so when it comes down to like what do we need salt for? So again, like this is our common table salt, this is our Himalayan salt, right? So the body needs salt, right? And a lot of people might be aware of this in terms of salt, but the body needs salt, and the reason it needs salt is for the health of the heart, the liver, the kidneys. It's to prevent low blood pressure. You know, it's to help with the muscle and nerve function in the body. So it balances the fluids that are in the body by having enough salt. But there's a line, and there's a fine line between how much salt we should be taking in, how much salt we're actually taking in. So how much salt is recommended, right, is about 4 grams to maintain fluid balance in the body, the muscle, the nerve function, all these kind of things, at a maximum of 6 grams, right? So I'm just going to show you what 6 grams looks like in terms of salt. So this is our common table salt. So I'm just going to pour in 6 grams, but just to show you what it looks like on a teaspoon. And this, oh geez, I'm going way over the top there now. I'm just going to pour that out here because I'm not going to get that back into the pot now, am I? So, okay, so that's 6 grams in there, okay? And I'm going to gingerly pour that into a teaspoon. And you might think, geez, that's a lot of salt. I'm losing some of it. That's alright. You won't argue over a couple of grains. So that's your maximum allowed of salt in a day. And you might think, geez, that's a lot. But you won't feel that sneaking in. And this is what we're going to kind of have a quick look at as well, is just looking at the salt content of some foods and things. So that's the most you're allowed. And that's high at that. That's 6 grams. What's recommended is taking in 4 grams of salt. So again, we want this for heart health, for brain activity as well is important. So if you find that you're not taking in enough salt, so if you're not hitting that 4 grams a day, what will happen is you might experience dizziness, you might experience kind of muscle twitches. You ever get that twitch in your eyelid, and this is a pulsing kind of thing? Often that can be related to a lack of salt in the body as well. Like I said, yeah, low blood pressure, those kind of things. So it's just important that, you know, because it affects brain activity as well, you can feel sluggish, you can feel lethargic, all these kind of things happen in the body when you don't have enough salt. Now the other, like some of these stats come from the Irish Heart Foundation as well, their website. And what they said is that the average person, while the maximum, the recommended intake is 4 grams, and the maximum is 6, most people, and generally men, take in about 9 to 10 grams of salt a day. So when your recommended intake is 4, we're at 2.5 times the intake of salt. Now again, what's the problem with taking in too much salt? The biggest problem is it leads to high blood pressure, and it's been connected with high blood pressure as having too much salt in the body. But also having too much salt leads to excess fluid retention, and what people have experienced as well. Women in particular is swelling in the ankles, feeling bloated because there's too much salt in the diet. So if you're experiencing any of those, again, the disclaimer, if you've got any health issues, underlying health issues, don't just put it down to salt, go get it checked out by your GP. But the main thing is the blood pressure going up, right? And over time with high blood pressure, what it leads to is heart attack and stroke, and that's the serious thing from it, is just the amount of heart attacks and stroke that are attributed to high salt diets. Okay, so there's a statistic that the Irish Heart Foundation brought out, and this is when I was researching just a bit extra on this topic. The statistic they had on their website is that if everyone in Ireland took in half their intake of salt, so if we were taking in 6 grams, which we're not because a lot of us are taking in 10 grams, but if we were taking in 6 grams, if everyone halved the amount we took in, so if we took in 3 grams of salt instead of 6, it would prevent 900 deaths a year from heart attack and stroke related deaths. And that is just a phenomenal statistic. 900 deaths just by cutting back our salt. So just put that into perspective, in terms of what's going on around us at the moment, and there's 900 deaths attributed to the amount of salt we take in is phenomenal, So one of the biggest culprits of salt in our diets is the likes of, you get cup of soups or these kind of things, and a lot of people flavour soups, the packeted soup you get in is laden with salt. So to put it in perspective, the contents of salt out there is seawater, right? So in the average cup of seawater is about 9 grams of salt, right? So more than a teaspoon. It wouldn't fit into the teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoons, 9 grams of salt. And again, the Irish Heart Foundation has said that the average cup of soup, so if you get 1 cup of soup that you get packeted, will contain as much as 2 cups of seawater. You do the math, it's about 18 grams of salt. So that's 4.5 times your recommended intake. So if you're somebody that takes in a lot of cup of soups, that kind of thing, just be careful of it, because that continuous high salt intake leads to that high blood pressure and things, all right? If you're going out for foods and things, just watch out for the amount of salt. There's salt gone into that food already. You don't need to be adding more. So just be very conscious of that, all right? So look, so just very quickly then, a lot of people feel that they go for the pink Himalayan salt is better than the common table salt. But what they've shown is that pink Himalayan salt, common salt, garlic salt, it still contains the same amount of sodium chloride, right? The same amount of that base salt name. I suppose what Himalayan salt has going for it is the minerals. So again, they say, and look, there's no definitive study on the Himalayan salt. It got traction, and it's more because of the extra minerals, because it's hand mined in a salt mine, that it's not as processed as common table salt. So there's more minerals in there. It might be a bit more natural, but the sodium chloride content can be the same. So it'll still have the same impact if you're using 6 grams of this as to 6 grams of common salt. So just keep that in mind. It's not that this has better effects on the body, it just has more minerals in there that the body could use and things, okay? So look, I hope this makes sense. This is just kind of give you a very quick overview on what salt looks like, to give you an idea, right? So like we was talking before, and we hadn't realized this, we just thought we'd use this in kind of salad, so this kind of smoked pancetta, right? But even if you look at the side of this, most of that, just turn this up the way you can read it, most of this is in red, right? But if we look at the salt, I don't know if you can see the salt there, it says there's 1.7 grams per quarter of this. So in this pack there's 3.4 grams of salt just in this pack, and you use that fully in one stir fry thing. So there's 3.4 grams, so that's nearly your full day's intake already, without whatever else you're taking in as well. So again, it's just to kind of help you understand the food labels. You can make the smarter choices after this, but just keep in mind, the more salt you're taking in, the more issues you're going to have with high blood pressure, which is going to lead to more, you've got a higher risk of heart attacks, stroke, those kind of things. So recapping on that statistics, if we took down to 3 grams of salt a day, everyone in Ireland, you'd prevent 900 deaths related to heart attack and stroke, and that's something to think about. So